Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is I'm gonna upload Marcy and Kakaro's as Kakaro. It's Kakaro or whatever. James Roach had a podcast today and apparently pronounced his name. Well, I'm gonna upload these two as separate things. I'm kind of a bit tired. I've literally just woken up. Having learned the dangers of using the public thoroughfares, you've taken to dodging down byways and skulking in rear areas, trying to spy out individuals who look right for friendship while avoiding the more criminally insane denizens. Just now you've followed a winding footpath through the undergrowth surrounding a neighbourhood where the local hives are spaced far apart. You came creeping along this footpath for safety. You should have known better. The undergrowth here is like most of the other life forms in Alternia, evolved to ruthlessly purge the gene pool of the weak and the reasonable. Coiled, spring-loaded stalks with foot-long thorns flank writhing in the bushes with razor-edged leaves, which in turn crowd tentacled flora with toothed lobes oozing liquid that hisses and smokes when it touches the ground. Sounds like a bloody fanfiction or something. Extreme caution is needed, just as it's needed in every circumstance on this planet. While your time on Alternia has gotten you accustomed to injuries, you still shrink from being impaled on sprung thorns that dissolved in acid. You should have known that eventually you would have to come up against the local flora, so you proceed discreetly, avoiding poison fronds and try not to step on trigger roots. But suddenly your vegetative focus is interrupted. You hear footsteps on the path, and then around the corner comes a small figure. Its face and horns are painted with smudged black and white marks. Despite its diminutive physique, it has some of the most impressive horns you've seen on any troll. Then the small figure sees you too and is so startled knives! It jumps a foot, impaling its horns in an overhanging tree branch and sticking there so that its small legs pump helplessly in the air. Honk! You beg the small person's pardon and assure him that you are fully as startled as he. You go on to explain that you are not dangerous, but that even if you were, you would not want to come to strife with even the small person with horns of that size. Honk! Yes, you will be happy to help him down as long as he promises not to attack you with the many bladed weapons that are stuffed into his belt, or with the dozen cans of an inexpensive soft drink held in bandoliers crossing his chest. It strikes you suddenly that a neighbourly gesture, like helping someone whose horns are stuck in a tree branch, can scarcely fail to kindle the light of friendship. You dare to hope that this will be the case now. Edging forward, you get close enough to see that around the small clown's neck hangs a dog tag or ID necklace. You tilt your head and crane your neck to read the writing on it. Karako Piero, if you're lost, called Bronya Osama. Suddenly that all makes sense. This Karako Piero must have been one of Bronya's reject runt wigglers, who, having grown out of childhood under her tender care, has gone out into the world to seek his fortune. And that would account for his small size, short legs, and small stature relative to his horns. You eagerly pull out your palm husk, happy for an excuse to pester your old friend, but you've got zero signal out here. You wonder if the surrounding vegetation eats palm husk signals, just as it looks like it eats everything else. You disappointedly slip your palm husk back into your pocket. Honk. You apologise for the delay, explaining that you were surprised to find that you appear to have an acquaintance in common, whom you hope you will have time to discuss later. For now you are ready, willing, and hopefully able to help him down. You hope he won't be offended if you slip behind him first. It's not like you object to bladed weapons, or those who stuff dozens of them in their belts, but you feel like the ones he's wearing could ruin your look if buried into your torso, however unintentionally. You edge past the weapons, being careful also not to touch the spring thorns growing at the edge of the path or their trigger roots. Once you're behind Karako, God, I cannot get this pronunciation right. You grasp his horns firmly and pull, withdrawing them from the tree branch and allowing them to drop lightly to the ground. Honk! You tell him that he's very well. Oh, does he only say honk? Must be very young. And there's a moment of awkward silence as you try to think of something else to say. Fortunately, your new potential friend is not as devoid of the social graces as you are, and gets the conversational ball rolling himself. Honk? You explain that you are indeed a stranger in these parts, and that you actually don't fit into any of the hemospectrum categories. Wild, right? Although not quite as strange as you used to be, you like to think. You're really starting to blend in with the local colour. Honk? Well, you'd rather not exhibit your blood just now. You're a couple of slow due to the robust conditions of life on Alternia, some of which you recently had the honour of encountering. Honk. You sympathise, slinking along these hidden paths in the Alternian woods can be tough on the morale. The smell alone is enough to make strong men weep, and the vegetation looks like it was designed by the Marquis de Sade. Not that he knows who the Marquis de Sade is. Oh God, that's a bit of an esoteric cultural reference. You can't help but feel that it would be so much better if one only had a skulk buddy who continue. How wonderful it would be to travel these dusky lanes with a kindred spirit, a twin soul, a fellow traveller, an intimate crony. You're such an expert on friend synonyms by now. Honk? No, you haven't met anyone like that either, but would certainly like to. Your new potential friend is obviously thinking seriously about this issue, so you back off, give them space. You pretend to be deeply immersed in studying one of the razor-sharp leaves and one of the writhing bushes beside the path. You might want to force yourself on others or try to unduly influence their friendship decisions. Okay, well, maybe you forced yourself on others in the past and tried to influence their friendship decisions. Maybe you've even done this a lot, but you've recently evolved as a person. You now know that friendship is something that has to come authentically from within. Friendship is spontaneous. Real friendship sprouts naturally from the soil of mutual respect. The best friendships grow and ripen over years, and are not rushed or forced. Of course, you've only known this small person for about 5 minutes, but you have to start ripening sometime. You're reflecting thus on the theme of friendship when a loud pours suddenly from the sky above you. It's a crackling, sizzling sound, like a chitinous thing with too many legs struggling on a hot frying pan. Krako jumps so violently that he nearly gets his horn stuck in the tree again. Looking up, you see a floating metal object, vaguely troll-shaped, but huge, faceless metal, with numerous sets of lightning bolt-shaped horns coming out of its head and neck. It's also not a very sparkling conversationalist, it remarks in a flat, echoing blare. It elaborates further. Honk! Leap to your proto-friend's aid. You leap to your proto-friend's aid. Thinking quickly, you push Karako against a large rock that juts out of the undergrowth nearby and jump in front of him, shielding him from the drone with your body. You then pretend to be leaning against the rock in an attitude of tranquil repose. Several of the bladed weapons in Karako's belt poke you in the arse, but you don't let this show on your face. Instead, you yawn elaborately and check your wristwatch. You don't have a wristwatch, but you don't think drones know what a wristwatch is anyway. You pretend to smoke a non-existent cigarette. Again, you're not giving anything away, because drones don't know what cigarettes are either. But the drone has apparently taken interest in you. It floats down between the trees and undergrowth and hovers above the path several metres from where you're pretending to relax against a rock after a long day of hiking through scenic shit-smell forest. It's quite a terrifying sight, actually. The drone observes soullessly, making Karako jump so that several of your internal organs are threatened. However, you maintain what you believe the local populace would call a stiff upper whistle pillow. The drone's blank metal head studies you, or it could be studying something in the opposite direction, or even taking the drone equivalent of a piss. You can't really tell from its expression, because that's no features to make expressions with. This examination or non-examination continues for some time, but your diminutive potential friend is well hidden from view, and after a while, evidently concluding that you are an inanimate object that makes unaccountable gestures with its wrists and fingers, the drone floats upward again, gaining speed until with a drilly it whizzes off somewhere to find other hapless non-standard citizens to euthanize. When it's gone, you stand away from the rock and rub several sore places that have been pierced by bladed weapons. You turn to Karako to comment on the recent favour, but stop when you see the look he is directing at you. A warm and admiring look, an affectionate and esteeming look, a look of friendship. Your first impulse is to throw your arms around him and lean in, but on second thought, remembering his pants arsenal, you put out your hand for a warm handshake. Victory so close! Before you can seal a deal on this sweet friendship transaction, you hear a disturbance further down the path. God, can't the narrative chill for one single moment? Especially a moment when you're about to consummate a beautiful friendship. You turn to look. The footsteps, several sets of them, get nearer, and around the bend come 3 figures. 3 figures wearing swimming outfits, lots of gold jewellery, and insouciant expressions. 3 figures with gills, sea dwellers, on their necks and small silas fins on their face. Oh man, is it possible that you finally happened upon a group of the legendary sea dwellers? They stop short when they see you and Karako, obviously startled. They study you. You study them. Then Finhead Interloper 1, in a one-piece and diamond earrings, whispers to her companions, and all three burst out laughing. Finhead Interloper 2, in a violet wetsuit and rings, slaps her thigh, and Finhead Interloper 3, in checkered swimming trunks, holds his sides. Part of you is relieved. Laughter drives out the devil, is the best medicine, and in any event is better than homicidal mania. On the other hand, this laughter isn't friendly. It's cold, mocking, and supercilious. These sea dwellers are obviously laughing at you, not with you. You notice Karako's cheeks flushing purple under his face paint, his jaws clenching. However, he just stares with stony dignity in the interlopers. This just makes them laugh harder. The first sea dweller says, "What are you two supposed to be? Shrimp Cassidy and the squamous kid?" says her second companion. "A cool-bait minnow and his mutated soft-shell crab," says her third. "Looks like the minnow went down on the clown, causing it to spurt out on the other one." What? The sea dweller's laughter is redoubled. You continue expressionless at these insults, but to your dismay, Karako's face has taken a harsh, glowering look. You guess that such a tiny dude has probably been victimized by bullies his whole life, and as you happen to know, there are no bullies like Alternium bullies. Honk. You tell them to let them talk all the shit they want. Don't let them provoke him. They're trying to get him to do something stupid. If he doesn't react, they'll get bored and go away. Honk. "No, remember that drone? It's probably still around here somewhere. Touch a scale on their heads and you could be rendered into mother grub feedstock. Hey, bottom feeders, no whispering when you're in the presence of your bathers. And you, little boy, put a respectful expression on your recognition surface. Be more like your friend, the slender manatee over here. In fact, why is it you two are still porpoindicular? Ha! In the presence of sea dwellers, you should be bowed at right angles. Ha! Fish puns. The first sea dweller seems to have an affinity for cheesy ocean puns. You bow to the sea dwellers. You have your dignity, but you also like not getting killed. Oh god. Karako remains stubbornly upright, his face getting angrier and purpler by the moment. The bladed weapons in his belt jingle from his enraged trembling. Oh god. Oh, see the little clownfish. He's getting angry. Looks like he's gonna shit his pants. What did I tell you about your face, boy? Didn't your Lucis teach you anything? I doubt he even has a Lucis. A self-restricting Lucis would never let a shrimp like that out of the hive. Unless his Lucis is just as defective. The Lucis cracks are too much for Karako. Ignoring your hissed warnings, he suddenly leaps, snarling into the air, draws bladed weapons from his belt in each hand, and hurtles towards the sea dwellers. That's gonna get him killed. You can't kill sea dwellers. Honk! Honk! I said it was going to be fun doing a voice for Karako. He just honks. That's cute. Leap into the fray and lend comfort and support. You leap into the fray to lend comfort and support. You would have counselled Karako to turn the other cheek and keep turning cheek after cheek until the sea dwellers got fed up and went away. But now that things have hotted up, you're not about to let down the side. Karako crashes into the sea dwellers, his bladed blenders and weapons blurring like a blender. You scamper close behind him and kick someone in the shin. It hurts your foot, but doesn't seem to have any other effect. These sea dwellers are made of tough stuff. All you're extremely flimsy. Signs have recently pointed to the latter. Your next sortie is more effective, however. Thinking quickly, you pick up a rock and throw it at the trigger root of a spring thorn growing along the path next to where the violet buds are enduring Hurricane Clown. The coiled stalk springs out, impaling the dude with a dozen foot-long thorns. Fucking hell! He's thrown off balance and the violet blood begins to flow copiously down his body. That's a hue you haven't seen before. Kind of pretty. But these sea dwellers are made of tough stuff. He yanks the spring thorn stalks away from him, pulling the thorns out and flings it into the woods. Then takes out a pocket handkerchief and starts patting his injuries gently. Meanwhile, Karako's bladed weapons have not been idle, and the other two sea dwellers are likewise leaking violet blood. But these bastards are hard to kill. You remember Polyper telling you that. As you watch, one of them grabs one of the bladed weapons from Karako's hand and buries it in Karako's stomach. No, come on, no. This, unsurprisingly, is distracting for a poor little clown, allowing two of the finny sons of bitches to grab handfuls of bladed weapons from his belt and bury them in... Oh, God! Oh, Jesus! Oh, God! In various parts of it, you dance around delivering harmless kicks and curses. Jesus! Are we watching him getting killed? Karako is still waving his weapons, but he seems to be waving them more slowly now. There's more and more bladed weapons are buried in his body. He seems to lose focus. The weapons he's been brandishing fall from his hands. Oh no, are we going to get another Dyer here? Finally, he Oh no, 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 no. Finally falls to the ground in the center of a spreading pool of purple blood, twitches feebly for a minute, and then is still. Oh. Oh no! Are they gonna start killing people? You stare in disbelief of the corpse who, if he had been spared just a short while longer, would have been your friend. One despised and rejected, a clown of suffering familiar with pain. I'm not gonna cry this time, I promise. I've never been attached to Karako, really. They had flogged him and mocked him and spit on him and then killed him. Oh Jesus. He struggled to come to terms with this. God, Violet Bloods are bastards. What are you going to do in all the remaining sea dwellers? Grabs you by the hair and... Hair? We have hair? SpongeBob doesn't have hair, or does he? And suplexes you onto the ground. Your head snaps back and pain explodes behind your eye. Did he break my neck? You're left lying on your back and trying to stay conscious, which is why you have a good view of what happens next. In the dark sky above you, something opens. Something even darker than the sky. A hole like a cave in the clouds. It winds until you see that in the cave a carousel with wooden horses mounted on brass posts rotates, the horses plunging up and down in time with carnival music played by a mechanical organ. Riding the horses are naked store window mannequins, their legs slung awkwardly over the horses' backs. Is this the Dark Carnival? Their stiff arms down by their sides in whatever pose they were created, their horns huge and wildly shaped. In the darkness above the carousel, other naked mannequins, is this heaven, with plastic wings tied to their backs and supported on wires, and above these, in turn, a net of white Christmas tree lights twinkle against the roof of the dark cave, or circus tent, or whatever this is, throwing their dim starlight illumination down on the rotating carousel. As you watch two of the winged mannequins break loose from their wires and fly down from that dark region of the night sky into the dimension Alternia occupies. Are they angels? They maneuver until the stiff hands and the ends of their stiff arms are underneath Karako, and then they lift him up into the sky and into the Dark Carnival. Wow! You hear a last faint reviving honk as they set him on one of the wooden horses, and the hole in the sky closes, and there's nothing but the night sky above you. All is silent and still. Holy shit! God, fuck. Sure, you spent the last few months wondering with no desire from you, and here you are in a way being unique in this galaxy, but honestly, what does this even mean? You flit in and out of people's lives, they're 1 minute gone the next, always moving from friend to friend. You are, for all intents and purposes, a virtual non-entity, a bland point of view vector, a neutral second-person narrator, barely coming into a picture, a retiring entity expressing only a simple one-dimensional desire for friendship. But just about now you feel that things have gone pretty far, and just about now you feel that you've about had enough of arrogant high-bloods. Enough, in fact, of short-wavelength hemotypes carelessly and without compunction killing and maiming and exploiting those of longer wavelengths, of a survival-of-the-fittest regime that seems to have come down to survival of the most violent psychopaths. Is this a moral universe or is it not, you ask yourself? Are repulsive cruelty and sickening evil punished in this universe or are they not? Does an ethical force operate in this universe or does it not? You don't know the answer to these questions, but you do know one thing. You intend to depart for once from your one-dimensional persona. You intend to punish repulsive cruelty and sickening evil if it comes within your ability to do so. You intend to create an ethical force field in your local region. You intend to exert some moral gravity right around where you are if you possibly can. Holy shit, we're really going off here. And you realise that this odd feeling you are having right now seems to be drawing moral Higgs bosons out of the moral ground state, and right out of the fabric of the multicoloured blood-soaked planet that heaves under your feet. You take on the aspect of the clown Sarka. Seizing 2 cans of inexpensive soft drink from where they fall from Karako's bandoliers, you shake them and pull the pins, and then with malice aforethought you direct the twin streams at the sea dwellers. You smell banana and strawberry as the deadly streams play upon them. Already weakened, they fall back with cries under the withering onslaught. As soon as the streams slacken, you take up 2 more cans, shake them, and deal out death to the unrighteous. You smell peach and diet root beer this time, but no pity softens your heart. You wouldn't care even if it were pineapple watermelon you were spraying on these brutes. But these finheads are made of tough stuff. Rallying even the face of this intense onslaught, they push forward and, seizing some bladed weapons from the purple blood pool, advance upon you. Not 1 step back, you vow to the memory of Karako Piero. You stand your ground in desperation, grabbing some cans of diet tonic water and club soda and opening up batteries once again, but to no avail. A trident pierces you to the bone, followed by a scimitar, a tomahawk, a short spear, and so many other bladed weapons that the sheer weight of them drives you to the ground, where your red, precious blood flows in moderate streams, mixing with the purple blood of your proto-friend. This is the end, you realise, but you are glad you died in righteous battle. You are glad you created even the tiny, sputtering, temporary moral force field in your local region that you did. You can feel your life and narrative point of view slipping away, but you are content. Are they going to bring us to clown heaven? Yeah, what's that you see above you? The dark space has opened up, even darker than the night sky. Two stiff, wing-looking figures are descending. They land next to you and gently place their stiff hands under you. Then they ascend once again, lifting you higher and higher into the darker space. Is this the good ending where we both die? As you pass the boundary of the heavenly carnival, your life seems to revive within you, and as the fabric of the place closes around you and the two stiff mannequins place you on a carousel horse next to Karako, you realise that planets, universes, dimensions, realities, powers, principalities and cosmos come and go, but friendship is forever. Oh, this is the sad ending because there's a sad thing. Wow. That was intense. Wow. I'm going to go for the instant fail this time. Run, a drone. You run in wild panic. It's a drone! Even the Alternian badasses you've hung out with have been terrified of the drones. Up close is one of the most terrifying things you've ever seen, and it's making noises which you didn't know they even did, and which probably means something sinister. You race at top speed down the twisting path, focusing your senses to their breaking points to avoid trigger roots, razor leaves, and acid pods. At first you hear the pattering of small feet running behind you, but as you redouble your speed, the pattering falls back and after a while is lost in the distance. You sprint for what seems a lifetime before you finally catch your foot on a trigger root and go flying through the air, barely missing being sliced into 100 pieces of tumbling ham by the barbed spring vine that lashes across the path only inches behind you. You land in the dirt, wind knocked out of you but otherwise unhurt. You lie there catching your breath and waiting, but nothing happens. No enormous metal monster whizzes down the path to impale you. No small clown-faced individual overtakes you on his short legs. Finally, after enough nothing happens, you pick yourself up and dust yourself off. You're alone on the path, no sound of either friend or potential friend or foe can be heard. No birds sing, which is probably good. You imagine that any birds native to the forest would probably sing by croaking up putrid sludge, and that the sludge would be poisonous or radioactive. Leaving aside the character of the local fauna, what should you do? Keep on down the path, putting more distance between you and the drone? Or should you go back and see if Karako is okay? You waffle for a while and decide to go back. You sneak back along the path. You sneak along the way, but however far you go, there are no signs of either Karako or the drone. You don't know whether the drone picked Karako up and took him away, or disemboweled him and scattered the fragments, or whether Karako leapt into the undergrowth and hid and escaped, or what. One way or another, you're all alone again on this path through shit-smell forest. I still can't get over, you're fucking taken into the dark carnival, holy shit. Right, I'm gonna... yeah, let's get this clown saved, come on. Grab him by the coattails. You leap forward and grab Karako by the coattails, or by his belt. You aren't actually sure what a coattail is. Jesus, he's strong. You can barely hold him. It's like trying to restrain a small truck. His legs rotate wildly, kicking up a cloud of dust, and he brandishes his bladed weapons wildly in the direction of the Sea Dwellers. After a startled moment in which they jump backward, the Sea Dwellers started to laugh again, coming up with more stupid insults and fish puns. This is not helping. Karako runs twice as hard, honks twice as loud, and shakes his weapons twice as threateningly. Hey, hey, shouted Karako, trying to be heard above the fracas, holding on with all your might and digging in your heels. I have half a mind to just let him go to pay the Sea Dwellers back for their insults, but you try to keep a cool head. You're doing your proto-friend much more good trying to restrain his wrath. Well, we're being moirails here. You now succeed in wrapping your arms all the way around him, and now you get in front of him, holding him back with straight arms, bellowing soothingly into his face and trying to avoid the bladed weapons he is brandishing. But it's not working. You can see from the contorted features, the bare teeth, the distended nostrils and the smoke coming out, the blazing eyes, that Karako is getting more and more enraged. Pap him! Sheesh pap him! And suddenly his rage seems to reach a kindling point. His body vibrates violently, his eyes grow huge and round. As suddenly from his body, something like a nuclear blast pressure wave of fear and violence sends you flying through the air like a scrap of paper in a gale. What the fuck? Are you hallucinating? But you can see as you soar up through the path that the Sea Dwellers aren't laughing anymore. In fact, they're screaming in terror and fleeing wildly, blundering into razor leaves, being impaled by spring thorns and burned by pod acid, and generally receiving the stern retribution that awaits arseholes. Then your head collides with a tree branch and you are rendered unable to narrate for a while. You wake up lying in the dust. As consciousness returns, you realise that you're lying on the path, and as it returns further, a small clown-painted figure is seated next to you, quite calm now. He smiles fondly as he sees you sit up. Honk! You smile in return. You express relief that he realises you were acting in his best interests, holding him back from the Finheads, and now largely because of his unexpected burst of clown sorcery, or whatever that was, everything has turned out for the best. Cracker holds up his arms for a hug. Remembering the bladed weapons in his belt, sticks out his hand. You shake it warmly. Yay! That was fucking intense. Fucking hell, the bad ending. Well, at least we get to be in the Dark Carnival with Karaka forever. That was really fucking intense. I liked that one. I liked it I liked it better than Masty's route. I have to say, I mean... I really fucking liked that one. So, I guess I'll see you in another 2 weeks. I'm going to go scream about this to my friends now. The end. Goodbye.